Learn English easily. Leo's stubborn mother. In a peaceful town named Middleton, a big old house with tall windows and a red brick chimney stood. This lovely house belonged to an old lady named Idella. Everyone in the town knew Idella because she was known for being strong and determined. Although she was very rich now, the house was not just big and beautiful, it was also filled with many memories from Idella's life. Inside the house, she wasn't alone. She had two special people living with her. One was Agnes, her kind maid, who always wore a white apron, and the other was Mary, a sweet old friend she had known since they were little girls, playing together. Idella wasn't always wealthy. In fact, her early years were filled with struggles. She grew up in a tiny house with her parents and siblings. Money was short. Their clothes were often patched up, and new toys were a luxury they had never experienced. Meals were simple, and sometimes even those were hard to come by. These memories of her challenging childhood had deeply affected Idella. They taught her the value of hard work, independence, and most importantly, the value of living within one's limits. As time passed, Idella worked really hard. She was always focused and never gave up, no matter how tough things got. Because of this, she was able to save and collect a lot of money, making her very rich. But even with all this money, Idella stayed the same. She didn't want to show off or act differently because she had more money now. She didn't throw big, fancy parties with lots of decorations or go on expensive trips to faraway places. Instead, she liked simple little things that made her happy. She often sat in her chair and thought about old times. She remembered the days when she was younger, when even a small thing could make her so happy. For example, the smell of a new loaf of bread baking in the oven, or the excitement of reading a brand new storybook for the first time. These simple moments brought her a lot of joy, and she always felt that true happiness comes from such small, lovely things. However, her aging became a growing concern for her only son, Leo. He admired his mother's spirit, but was increasingly worried about her well-being. Despite her age, Idella wanted to manage everything by herself. She insisted on doing it all, whether it was driving to the grocery store, climbing a ladder to change a light bulb, or even fixing a leaky faucet. Leo was concerned about his mother's safety, but he also respected her desire for independence. He plans to address this issue by finding someone to drive her around. This way, she could go out without worrying about danger. Leo wanted to locate someone who could assist his mother without making her feel like she was losing her freedom. Leo spent a significant amount of time trying to find the appropriate person. He spoke with numerous individuals and searched everywhere. Finally, he met Mr. George, a kind-hearted man with so much experience as a chauffeur. Leo believed that Mr. George would be a great choice to assist and care for his mother, while still allowing her to be independent. The day Leo brought George to meet his mother, Idella didn't look happy. She said, "I've been driving for a very long time, even before you were born," while giving George a doubtful look. Leo tried to tell her why he brought George, but Idella was firm in saying she didn't need anyone's help. George, however, was a patient man. He understood Idella's desire for independence. So instead of pushing her, he simply made himself available. He began by offering to carry her shopping bags, then slowly suggested that he'd drive when the weather was bad. Whenever she seemed hesitant or resistant, he would step back, allowing her the space she needed. Agnes and Mary also played a role in this gentle transition. They often chatted with George, making him feel welcome and part of the household. They shared stories of Idella's younger days, giving him insight into her strong, independent nature. Over time, with many small gestures and acts of kindness, George managed to find a place in Idella's life. One particular day, when a heavy rainstorm hit and Idella had an important doctor's appointment, George was there, umbrella in hand, ready to drive her. She hesitated for only a moment before nodding her approval. After that day, things began to change slowly. Idella started accepting George's assistance more frequently. She began to see the benefits of having him around, not as a sign of her weakness, but as an added comfort in her life. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the garden, sipping tea, Idella turned to George and said, "I was quite stubborn about not needing a chauffeur. But I must say, having you here has made things a tad bit easier." George smiled gently. "I'm just here to help, Mrs. Idella. You still do everything your way." Leo was over the moon when he saw the change. His heart felt lighter, knowing that his beloved mother had someone trustworthy by her side. And so, in the old house in Middleton, life went on, a blend of old traditions and new friendships, proving that sometimes change, even if resisted at first, can bring about beautiful new beginnings.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more.